Oh no, it froze. Good evening and welcome to another Thursday Night Thoughts. I seem to be having some technical difficulties by the looks of it right at the moment. So you may need to bear with me for a quick minute while I try to fix this really fast. So yeah, just give me one brief moment here. I might disappear for a quick minute, but I promise I will be back in 2 seconds. Hmm. Well, oh, come on. Seriously. I got the idea. I'm okay. Oh, what is going on? Okay. I think I fixed my problems. I am so sorry for that. Still pretty new at this whole live broadcasting gig. Like I said earlier, or a couple minute ago, welcome to Thursday Night Thoughts. It's Thursday night, it's April 16th, and this episode we're going to talk about exhaustion and being exhausted. Being an essential worker and being in the essential workforce right at the moment, we are all seeing the effects of being exhausted right now. Um, Ourselves in the office that I've been working in, we are now coming up on 1 full month of being locked down and not letting people into our office. And we're starting to really kind of feel some of that effect. At one point, we were pumping through transactions really quickly. We were getting things done. It seemed like a lot faster. And now it doesn't seem to matter how fast we're going. We don't feel nearly as fast. We're starting to feel quite exhausted ourselves with everything that is going on right now. We still have people that we have to work with on a regular basis in kind of a face to face fashion. We're trying to figure something out for that a lot better as well. And right now, we're taking a vast amount of phone calls, and it's getting really quite difficult to deal with in some aspects, just because of the sheer amount of phone calls that are coming in. Um, we're constantly probably about 40 behind almost by the end of every day still. I think today we were down to maybe 30 behind. So really, it gets quite exhausting when you're starting to realize just how far behind you constantly are and how you're not seeming to really get ahead. And the more you start seeing that, the more you start kind of probably putting doubt on yourself and putting yourself more into a state of exhaustion, mentally, which also will help aid the draining physically as well, which is never a fun time either. So when you're starting to start feeling to guess being mentally exhausted like I am right now, you can probably tell I'm stumbling over my words pretty bad. It's time to start looking at just taking a quick break of some kind. So all you really have to do for a quick break, at least in our office, is you just have to step away from your desk for just like a minute or two and just wander off and just kind of collect yourself for a couple minutes, whether that's just going down to the lunchroom and kind of hanging out there for like 5-10 minutes, getting some water, getting some coffee, maybe taking a quick snack, and just being mentally prepared when you come back up again, because you're going to be right back into the thick of things, and just it's going to just keep kind of plowing at you. One thing I actually, it's really weird that I learned it today and haven't learned it at some other point, but I learned today that I should be taking my breaks a lot more frequently than what I actually do, which isn't good that I'm not taking them frequently enough. I am somebody who likes to try and work through everything and make sure sooner rather than later at work. So it makes it a lot more difficult to try and work with. So I end up taking my breaks quite a bit later for a few different reasons. One, I like to make sure that the rest of the team has gotten their breaks and are well taken care of there as well. So that's part of why I end up taking my breaks later. But then I get so stuck into what I'm doing, I end up taking my breaks even later than what I should be, which doesn't help keep me from not getting exhausted and feeling just run down and tired. It's just this whole culminating effect of being exhausted and trying to get things done, and then making yourself more exhausted because now what you're doing isn't working out properly, because now you're doing more and you're not letting yourself take those breaks that you do need to take. So now your exhaustion level is going up and your mental capacity is going down, and you need to start leveling that back out. Like, you can still be kind of exhausted, but your mental capacity can come back up as well if you can start taking those breaks and making sure that you are rejuvenating your brain and your body. When I do get out for lunch, I am somebody who will not typically sit in the lunchroom unless it's like really horrible weather conditions. Even then, I quite often get out and go for a walk. I literally leave the office for nearly an hour every day on my lunch just to rejuvenate. I go for a walk down at the wharf. I walk around. Normally I see people. Right now I don't see a lot of people because obviously we're in lockdown and social distancing, so there's not a lot of people to see. But I do go out. I go for a walk down around the wharf. I go for a walk around the park that we have that's called McGuire Lake. I walk around there and get some fresh air, get some sunshine, and just kind of clear my head. I listen to podcasts, and I just kind of mentally take a break from where I'm at work and just concentrate on something for myself at that point, where it's just me, the podcast, and as much nature as I can kind of get for being in a downtown setting. So the wharf, obviously, and then the McGuire Lake Pond Park are kind of my two main natural settings right at this point. And it just really helps a lot more. The more I can kind of get out and do a little bit more physical activity. Like, I come home, I eat dinner, and quite often I'm just so mentally drained out and exhausted, I ended up quite often having a nap. I try to limit it to about 30-40 minutes. It doesn't always work out quite that well. There have been nights, I have to say, where I have had probably like a good hour and a half nap and then wake up, do a few things for like an hour, and then go straight to bed. I am just that worn out. Tonight is a great example. I came home, I had dinner, I had probably about a 30-minute nap, and then I got up and took my dog Harley for about a 35-minute walk. So I could kind of rejuvenate a little bit more, get some fresh air, get the cool air kind of blowing against me to kind of wake me up a little bit more. Came home, set up everything that I needed to do for the Thursday Night Thoughts broadcast for tonight, and just kind of mentally prepare for it a little bit so I'm not feeling quite as exhausted right at the moment, so I could actually broadcast to you folks and be able to have a better conversation with you, and I guess kind of myself, since I don't have anyone to really talk to at this point, as I don't have guests, or it's not a call-in show at this point. Maybe that might be something we look at doing, is having it as a call-in show where people just call in over Skype or something, and we have a chat that way. That would be pretty cool. So you can see my exhaustion level isn't quite as bad because my mental capacity has gone up, and I'm thinking about different things and thinking a little bit clearer, which is always kind of a handy thing as well. So it's funny though, with exhaustion, getting out and getting some exercise seems to help alleviate some of the exhaustion levels. I have no idea what the science is behind that, but from some things I've read and seen, the more exercise you get, the less tired you are and the less you really need to sleep, which is very bizarre and very counterintuitive to me. Like, the more you exercise and the more energy you put out, you would think you would have to sleep more than what you should be. But apparently, the more energy you can put out, the more exercise you do, the better your body is at rebuilding the energy you need, and the less sleep you need. At least that's what I had read and heard. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's kind of a neat idea. And really getting enough sleep at night also will help with any of the exhaustion levels that you may be suffering from as well. The last, I'm going to say, week here, I have honestly not slept super well, which has not helped the exhaustion levels. I come home, I'm super tired. I come home, most of the time I'm coming home to pretty much an empty house, except for my lovely dog Harley, who I hang out with most of the time. On the weekends, I'm always home pretty much anyway, so I have my kids with me, which does help quite a bit more. So at those points, I'm not by myself, so I'm not feeling quite as... I mean, I'm still exhausted. I ended up, I think over this long weekend, I ended up napping half the time because it was just needing to rejuvenate. I just wasn't getting enough sleep, probably even the week before. But I mean, really, you just got to really pay attention to your body, and you will have a lot better energy levels if you pay attention to what's going on. Make sure it's fueled correctly with water, proper foods. Don't eat a lot of junk, which honestly at the office we kind of eat a lot of Timbits, but honestly it's little mini donuts. Who can resist those? Those are pretty awesome. I know if I'm probably the equivalent of Homer in my office right at the moment. I'm like, donuts. Sweets are definitely one of my weaknesses, so I can't say much about that. It's just the way I am. Just love those things. So anyway, like I was saying, just try to avoid some of the junk food, getting enough sleep, and taking time just to really kind of mentally build yourself back up. Definitely helps a lot to try and alleviate some of the exhaustion levels that you may be going through right at the moment, or going through ever. I know when I'm having exhaustion and I just take those mental breaks, it seems to really help a lot. Sometimes it's just wandering over and just kind of having a quick chat with coworkers, having a bit of a laugh, just wandering off to the water cooler and just getting something to drink, because keeping hydrated during the day will help keep you from being exhausted as well. The more liquid you can kind of keep flowing through your system, the better your system will end up being. Trying to keep with some of the healthier foods. Like, I eat a lot of chicken and vegetables recently, which has been helping out quite a bit more as well. And just getting enough exercise. Like, the goal is always supposed to be 10,000 steps a day. I try to get more than I try to get between 12 to 15,000. I know, like, once again, it seems really weird to try to alleviate the exhaustion levels, but it does seem to help for me. I'm not sure if it will help for everybody, but if I can get some exercise, it helps kind of rejuvenate me. And if I can take my lunch during the day at kind of my regular time, which normally for me is around the 2 p.m. mark, if I can maintain that, I can actually maintain a pretty decent level of productivity. I know after lunches is kind of my lower productivity level, so I try to do a little bit more mundane tasks so I can kind of keep going and kind of get things done. And that way I can kind of keep just mentally engaged just enough where I know I'm going to get things done, but I'm not overloading myself at the same time, to the point where I'm going to come home and literally have that nap for an hour and a half. Like, I just try to make sure, like, I'm paying attention to how my body is feeling, how my mental capacity is fluctuating up or down, and just make sure I am following into that correctly. So that way I'm not basically running myself into the ground and not being able to do things with my kids, do things at home, present broadcasts like this, produce the videos that I do with Trail Tales and 15-second thoughts, which you can find on YouTube, by the way. So yeah, I just try to make sure that I'm keeping everything up with exercise and proper food and nutrition, just to make sure that I am getting through everything that I need to get through in a day. It seems to help taking your breaks, making sure you're eating properly, getting the proper amount of sleep. I know right now with all the stress levels probably floating around in the world right now for myself, yourself, everybody that we probably know, sleep is probably getting a lot harder for a lot of people. I know I try to maintain a pretty rigid schedule for sleep. Like I usually try to get to bed around 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. If I've had that hour and a half nap, I sometimes end up getting to bed later, like 11:30, 12 o'clock, which isn't good because I'm trying to be up early so I can, quite often when school's in, get lunch or the kids ready for school, get their lunches finished off, make breakfast, get coffee ready, and just stuff like that, right? So trying to get to bed early enough so I can also wake up early enough. It's trying to just find that nice balance in there. And with the different kind of stress that's been happening, I think that's also affecting the sleep in quite a lot of people as well. So you're trying to find something that will help you kind of relax a little bit more too. And honestly, staring at a screen like this on a computer or on the smartphone or whatever you happen to be on probably isn't going to help you sleep super well unless you have your phone or computer screen where it hits like a certain time and turns as much of the blue light coming out of the displays off, which will help you definitely sleep better. So one of the things I try to do with my sleeping situation to help me build back up so I'm more rested for the day is I will actually black out as much light out of my room as possible. So I have nice blackout curtains. I have very little light in my room for at night. So I have like one little light that kind of blinks that it's buried behind something so I can't see it. And I try to keep my body kind of cool. Like I keep the air cool in my room, but I kind of keep some of my body warm, which seems to helps me sleep better. I don't know how it'll help you or if it will help you. And it's kind of how I've been working with that. I've been trying to keep my body a little bit cooler because it seems to help me sleep a little bit better. And then at night, I also use my Amazon Echo speaker in my room to play white noise. So that way I can actually sleep properly, filter out sounds that may be coming in from outside the house as well. So I should hopefully be getting a bit of a deeper sleep. I've tried some different sounds recently, and that might be part of the effect as well. Like I felt like maybe some nature sounds might help better, whereas like birds and stuff chirping from outside, but I think I might have to go back to the white noise to make it work a little bit better. But that's kind of where I'm at right now. Like I'm hoping that some of this information that I'm providing will help you out as well and help you find a way to relax, find a way to mentally recuperate, and just kind of bring those exhaustion levels down a little bit. I know a lot of people probably go for meditation as well. I know it's only 15 minutes, but I have a really hard time finding that little 15-minute interval in the day where it's just quiet and peaceful enough where I could take in some time to do some meditation like that. But if you can find the time to do it, I definitely would probably recommend it as well, because I've heard great things about doing meditation. So if that's something you can do, definitely, I would say go for it. So if you can meditate, get some exercise, food, proper food, not just junk food like Timbits and candies like we seem to eat a lot of at the office, like Jolly Ranchers and caramels, which are my favorite, by the way. So if you're willing to send me candy, you can send me some Jolly Ranchers, green apples. Those ones are great. But yeah, so good nutrition, keeping hydrated, proper sleep, taking your breaks at work, getting just out of the office, I find helps quite a bit more. Getting the proper amount of sunshine, fresh air will definitely help with keeping you from being too exhausted. So this is my episode for today. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I look forward to helping you more, serving you more, and I'm hoping you're having a great night. I hope this lockdown is not stressing you out too much. If it is, you know what? I'm thinking about starting like a little morning coffee thing where we just hang out for 5-10 minutes in the morning and, drink some coffee together. I don't know if anyone thinks that would be a fun idea or not. If you do, let's hit me up on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram even. I'm at Eldorado, which is ELDEROBBO. It's El Dorabo on actually everywhere social. So if you are on anything, you can probably pretty much find me. Hit me up in a chat, hit me up on a direct message, just tweet to me, hit up Facebook, and we can set something up where we can just all hang out and have some coffee in the morning. I have no problem with that. I think it would be a lot of fun. If you're enjoying what I'm doing, please hit the share button, hit the like, leave a comment. If you really, really like what I'm doing, there's options down below or up above, depending on where you're watching this, to be able to subscribe through Patreon and be able to donate through Streamlabs as well. So I look forward to helping out more, serving you more, and I hope you had a great time with me tonight. I know I had a great time with you. I look forward to our next Thursday night thoughts. And hey, let me know if you want to do this morning coffee idea. I would love to be able to hang out with some people, video chat, and drink coffee all morning. At least morning before work anyhow. We'll try and set up what time might work best. All right. I hope you had a great night. I will talk to you later. Adios, everybody. Thank you so much.